Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. Today I'd like to make a public service announcement to the non-Muslims who may have been given a false impression of Islam. I actually come from a non-Muslim background. I have non-Muslim family members. I live in America. I'm surrounded by non-Muslims all the time. And I've made it a goal, a priority in my life to call to Islam, to teach people about Islam. And one thing that has unfortunately been the case since before I even became Muslim is the fact that Islam is constantly being misrepresented. It used to be primarily from what we would call the mainstream media, whether it be the news on television or in newspapers. But now, given the direction that society has gone, a lot of it now is on social media. And from what I've seen nowadays is that a major way that Muslims and non-Muslims interact is through debates, through online arguments and spectacles. And I think that this has unfortunately led to a misrepresentation to many non-Muslims regarding what Islam is truly about. Now, it can be difficult to make videos such as this because if a Muslim is going to come out and they're going to be critical of certain factions of their own community, then such factions being criticized will call them opportunistic backstabbing agents. But at the same time, if you don't clarify it, then Islam is misrepresented not only to non-Muslims, but to the Muslim audience. So it really does put us in between a rock and a hard place, as the saying goes. However, I know many of you watching are intelligent people. Many of you very much appreciate such clarifications. So that being the case, I wanted to just mention a few things. Firstly, I think we can contextualize the entire situation if we keep in mind the fact that nowadays, our society just seems to be entertaining ourselves to death. Never in the history of humanity have people had the opportunity to sit there on their smartphones, on the internet, watching movies all day, having access to an endless amount of music and games and, interacting on social media, posting content yourself. I mean, this is unprecedented, and it's something that only Allah knows how many of us are addicted to. So because we have become a society obsessed with entertainment, this of course has affected the way that religions such as Islam are presented to the people. And it's to the extent that sometimes the truth and what's right, what's actually beneficial, will be sacrificed for the sake of entertainment. And we will let our desires get the best of us because we want to be entertained. We want to watch this. And at the same time, fool ourselves into thinking that it's beneficial or that we are walking in the footsteps of the righteous Muslims. So in the name of fighting for Islam, we find people having the most absurd, ridiculous debates. But such debates garner the most people because it's seen as entertaining, and you're also tapping into not only your Muslim audience who are going to cheer you on, but you're also tapping into the non-Muslim audience and those who may be cheering against you. But for everyone watching, I would like to clearly state that Islam is not about intellectually owning opponents in debates and arguments. Islam is not about being as contrarian and unlikable as humanly possible in the name of being courageously unapologetic. But Islam is balanced. It's also not about acting like we all agree on everything. Nor is it about sacrificing the truth in hopes that everyone likes you. What Islam is about is La ilaha illallah, which means there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. And Allah is a name referring to the Creator, the one who created all of us, the one who is the all-knowing, all-hearing, the one that has the most perfect attributes. He is completely unique and He is one. And what we try to do as Muslims is submit to and follow the guidance, the revelation that He sent us. And a very important aspect of that guidance is having the best character. As Muslims interacting with non-Muslims in the name of dawah, in the name of calling people to Islam and teaching them about Islam, it's incumbent upon us to represent this religion through having the best of character. And we should relay the reality of what Islam is about. It always has to come back to worshiping Allah alone, trying to learn about who Allah is, keeping in mind our purpose in life and the fact that Allah is going to resurrect us and we are going to be held accountable before Him in the hereafter. Understanding that He sent prophets throughout time, and the last prophet He sent was the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And that the Quran is the final revelation that He sent to us and preserved for us that we may be guided by it. These are the types of things that we Muslims should be inviting to and teaching. And once the true message of Islam has been conveyed, it's up to you to accept it or reject it. If you reject it, then we say, for you is your religion, and for us is our religion. We have not been sent to argue and debate with you all day, every day. But unfortunately, for quite some time now, this is what we find. And we find even amongst ourselves, Muslims debating each other for the sake of entertainment. Men and women sitting together, casually discussing topics that are really not a priority or relevant to the vast, vast majority of Muslims, if not all of the Muslims, watching these conversations play out. So to summarize and conclude this video, I would firstly encourage anyone who is sincerely looking for truth to ask the Creator to guide you. Because at the end of the day, nothing I say, nothing that anyone says in a debate, in a video, in an argument is ultimately going to guide you. It's the Creator who's going to guide you. And I'd also say, just keep in mind that these entertainers online are just that. They're entertainers. They're not the type of people who are necessarily really going to tell you about what Islam actually is. They're not necessarily proper representations of what a Muslim should be. And for anyone who has had the message of Islam conveyed to you and you understand it and you reject it, you don't want to follow it, you don't want to believe in it, then it's not beneficial for us to go back and forth and argue and debate. And I would encourage my Muslim brothers and sisters to also internalize that and to not fall into what we've seen become a sport, an entertaining spectacle of argumentation, which is not from our religion. For those of you who are really interested in learning about Islam, inshallah, I'm going to start releasing videos where I'm explaining from the ground up what Islam teaches, what Islam is, who the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was. So please subscribe and check back for such videos if you're interested. Allah knows best. Thank you for watching. JazakumAllahukhairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.